Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us across the fence. I'm Fran Stoddard. Today we're going to learn about a program that beautifies our communities, improves our air and water. It's fun, educational, and people are passionate about it. It is the UVM Extension Master Gardener Program. Over 3,000 Vermonters are Master Gardener alums. Registration is now underway for the 2020 course, which begins on January 17th. And I'm so lucky that we have here today one of those students, just finished up his Master Gardener program, but still in the volunteer internship phase. That is Drew Schatzer, so sorry.
It's okay.
From South Burlington. He works at the Center for Technology in Essex. He is a forestry, horticulture, and instructional aide there, so this must have come in handy. So could you just tell us, I'm sure many people know what the Master Gardener program is, but could you tell us from your point of view, what is it for people that don't know?
Yeah, it's a way that people in the area can get more involved in their own backyards. It's also like a resource for people who don't even want to do the program but want to do more in their yards. So Master Gardeners can be at places like farmers markets and other community hubs to answer people's questions and make sure that research-based methods are getting used in the community instead of like, Uncle Jimmy's garden technique.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, I know people that just love gardening and they want to know more about it, so they sign up and they, maybe don't go into business. Some of them do.
Right.
But they know a lot more about what's going on.
Yeah, and it is a holistic approach too. It's not just about which fertilizer to use and what time of day to water. It goes into soil science and companion planting. So what plants work best when planted next to each other, and there's just so much to it.
Awesome. And so how does one become a Master Gardener?
So you sign up for the course. The deadline would be this week, I believe, and from there it's mostly all online. It's a weekly online course. So you do all of your online training, which takes a few months, and then from there you do volunteer hours. You have to submit, I think, 40 to 45, I think 45 hours, 40 hours for your first 2 years during your training. And once you've submitted your 40 hours, you become a Master Gardener. And then from there, you just do another 25 hours a year to maintain that certification.
Great. And then people, you're helped with what volunteer opportunities there are, which are all over the state. Correct. Right.
Yeah. So there's local groups throughout the state, and each group has, could be dozens of projects in each area going on at any given time.
Really awesome. And so what kind of teachers are these? Are these UVM teachers, or who teaches these courses?
So from my experience, yeah, it was mostly UVM ag extension agents, and they all were experts in their own field, whether it was on pollinator plants or turf management or composting. There was always, this expert that taught that weekly module.
Right, awesome. Well, with winter in full force, the gardening season may seem a long way off, but we want to give people information about how to sign up for the Master Gardener course. It's right around the corner. That course starts on January 17th. For more information or to register, or you can go to the website, uvm.edu/mastergardener, or you can also call the Master Gardener State Office. The number is 802-656-9562. And now I'm going to continue with you, Drew, from South Burlington. It's great to have you here. A little bit more about what it means to be online and what online education is. And for some people, what's great is anybody in the state can take this without worrying about travel. But how is that for you, and how does that work?
I was a little confused, I guess, at first when I found out Master Gardener was an online course, because it is steeped in natural science and most of the applications are in outdoor lab spaces. But yeah, it actually ended up working really well because, everybody's busy. This course also has an audience that's very broad, I guess, or students that come from all different parts. So someone like me who's kind of starting their career, I have a very young child at home, I work full time, and I'm all over the place. It worked out really well for me because it was mainly a self-driven course. There was a couple of minor deadlines that you have to meet each week, but for the most part it's self-driven. You do it when you can, and everything's accessible, whether on your smartphone or your work computer or your home laptop, wherever you have access to this.
Awesome. And then do you communicate with other students or your instructor, or can you do that, or is it completely isolated?
Well, it's as engaging as you want it to be, really. So there's message boards and forums that are very active, and if you like participating in that kind of social setting, then yeah, there's a lot of opportunity for you, and you can get to know people in your area based on which groups you talk to. Whenever I had like a minor issue or something, I would usually use the message boards to reach out to one of the course coordinators, and they would get back to me like right away.
Wow, fantastic. And does somebody have to be pretty tech savvy to do this?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I was born in the 80s, but I don't consider myself like super tech savvy. I can use like a browser to use the internet. I can use Microsoft and Google products, but after that I need to call tech support. So like if I could do it, I think just about anyone could do it.
Okay, all they need is that internet access.
Yeah, and most of the things like the lectures are all through YouTube. There's some PowerPoints, things that are really mainstream and accessible.
Right. Okay, and about how much time per week would you say you spent on this?
So it's about 4 to 6 hours a week. I'd say, like by the third module, I kind of had a nice routine. So like usually on Tuesdays, I would watch the lecture and listen or read the resource material. And some weeks it might be a couple of chapters, some weeks it might be more. So then on Tuesday night, I would post a question to the lecturer. That was like one of the couple of deadlines, is we had to post a question to the lecturer. And then Thursday night, we'd listen to the live Q&A lecture and then have to post a feedback response by Friday night. So all in all, it was a couple hours listening, reading, and then just a few minutes of writing.
Awesome, so. And you'd kind of keep up. So you've completed the course, and now you're a volunteer intern, and we'd like people to see what that's all about, and we've got a video about some of the Master Gardener volunteer projects.
Everything that you see in the front here are all annuals, in the back are all mostly perennials. So it's a mixture, so we have constant color. The zinnias do really well here, so we've kept with that for quite a while. The petunias really do well here. We've tried a few other things, but the petunias seem to do the best. And of course, it's the weather. So we never know what it's going to be. So this year, it's just really exceptional. We start with planting in the spring, around May. And then from then on, it's deadheading, keeping things cleaned and looking nice. It is only a few hours a week, but sometimes that's all you need just to keep things looking nice. I love gardening, so when I walk through here, when we're not working on the gardens, it's kind of nice to say, oh, we worked in those, and it really adds something to the marketplace.
So what we're doing here today, and what Master Gardeners do every week, is to help in maintaining the gardens. Mostly weeding, sometimes planting, deadheading, but keeping the gardens in this area around Jeffords and the Davis Center looking good. Doing that volunteer work every year, and also the education that's required, is probably the major part of the training. So after a few years after you've taken the class, it's really that involvement in the gardening community and with knowledge that's presented in a lot of those trainings that is a large part of the education.
At the end of the program, of the Master Gardener program, they always have speakers come from different groups that are wanting some volunteer work. And this, I don't know, seemed like a fit. I love to cook. The idea of growing organic food for people, that's right up my alley.
To learn more about the Master Gardener volunteer intern experience, we're now joined by Tina Attenborough from Fletcher. Tina has completed the course in May of 2019, and she's now involved in a number of different projects, which she's here to tell us about. So what are some of the volunteer projects you've worked on, Tina?
Quite a few,
Yeah.
actually. The first one, I was lucky enough that this was a Vermont flower show year.
Ooh, nice.
I love going to the flower show, and I guess I was a little bit surprised that it was a part of a Master Gardener's project. So I was able to get quite a few hours in for over several days. So moving a lot of mulch, planting, every gardener's dream. There was just an endless supply of mulch and plants coming in by the truckload, and then getting to see how the magic. I don't know if you have gone yourself,
yes,
but
it is magical.
To see how the magic is actually put together behind it, it was very, very exciting.
So, any challenges during your volunteer experiences? There are other ones?
Not so much there. That was my first foray into volunteering, and I was still taking the course at that time. I originally thought that it was going to be difficult to find volunteer opportunities.
Yeah.
I live in Fletcher, which everybody says is in the middle of nowhere. It's not true. Not true. It's but there is that one of the challenges is the time involved in getting to some of these projects. So when choosing, I actually reached out to, I found out who had the projects, and that was actually part of our course. Toward the end,
and you found some near Fletcher?
I did. There's the Deborah Rawson Memorial Library has a community garden, and has been growing for many years, and it's very amazing. The library and the town both really support.
Right.
All the work that goes on. They put tea parties on for and I was invited to that.
and there are a lot of community projects. I mean, we're almost out of time, but you've probably worked on community projects as well that need and use the Gardener program. Great for you, and good for everybody else in their communities.
One of the best things about once you complete the course, you're plugged into the listserv, which puts you in touch all over the state with the local groups, and you get all the emails of projects and when work days are. And
okay, we got to go. The website we will put up very quickly one more time, uvm.edu/Master Gardener. Sign up now is the time. So Tina and Drew, thank you so much for coming in and talking about the Master Gardener program. It's so exciting. We hope lots of people sign up like you.
Thanks for having us.
And thank you for joining us across the fence. I'm Fran Stoddard.